Rongmei amashung langbung. A long time ago, there were 7 brothers from Rongmei clan. The youngest of them was named Rongmei. One day, while working in the field, they encountered 2 large snakes, a male and a female. They were husband and wife. The brothers surrounded them and managed to kill the female snake, but the male snake escaped. The elder brothers told Rongmei, "Take the dead snake to the watch house and cook it while we continue working in the field." Rongmei took the dead snake to the watch house and chopped it into 7 pieces, one for each of them. Then, in a hurry, he went to fetch some water to cook the snake. Little did he know that the male snake had followed him all the way to the house. When Rongmei returned, he saw the male snake from a distance, carrying a piece of bark from a tree called langchi in its mouth. From a safe hiding place, he watched in shock as the male snake began chewing the pieces of the tree bark and carefully placing them on the body parts of the dead female. To his astonishment, the pieces began to join and the female snake slowly came back to life. And together, the 2 snakes slithered away into the jungle. Rongmei stood frozen, too stunned to move or speak. A few minutes later, the elder brothers returned from their hard day's work, exhausted and hungry. When Rongmei told them what had happened, they did not believe him. They thought he was lying, and in their anger, they bashed him black and blue, breaking his legs. Unable to walk, he begged them, "Please, leave me by the langchi tree." So they picked him up and left Rongmei by the langchi tree and went home. Now he was all alone. He gathered as much bark as he could and wrapped it in his cloth, applying some of the bark on his broken legs. And to his amazement, they healed in no time. With his legs restored, he thought, "There is no point in going back home. Therefore, I will leave my village and seek my fortune elsewhere." On his journey, he came across a dead dog lying by the side of the road. Curious to test the magic of the langchi bark, he sprinkled some over the carcass. To his surprise, the dog sprung to life and began to follow him. Rongmei smiled and decided to keep the dog as a companion, naming him Langbung. As the night fell, he asked an old lady he met along if he could stay at her house. The woman was grateful for the company since she lived all alone and welcomed him in. In the middle of the night, they were suddenly woken by the sound of cries coming from the neighborhood. A young girl had died unexpectedly, even though she had not been very sick. Rongmei, curious, asked the old woman to go and speak to the girl's parents. He wanted to know what they would offer him if he could bring their daughter back to life. The woman returned with their answer. The parents promise to give you their daughter's hand in marriage and property as a reward if you succeed. So, he took some langchi bark with him and asked everyone, "Leave me alone with the girl for a while." Once they were all alone, he carefully applied the potion to her body. After a moment, the girl suddenly sneezed, and to everyone's amazement, she was brought back to life, just as if she had awoken from a deep sleep. The girl's parents, overjoyed, kept their promise. They arranged for Rongmei to marry their daughter and gave them a house to live in. As news of his miraculous healing spread, he became very famous as a magical healer. People from everywhere bringing the injured and the dead to him, and he received all of them and revived them. However, he kept the lunchy bark a secret, locked away in a trunk. Not even his wife, Asangpi, knew about it. One day, while he was out working in the field with his dog, his curious wife opened the trunk and discovered the lungchi barks. "These are so damp," she remarked, and decided to put them out in the sun to dry. Unknown to her, these were no ordinary barks. The gods of the sun and the moon took advantage of the opportunity and snatched the bark away, carrying them up into the sky. She watched in helplessness and disbelief as the barks vanished into heavens. When Rongmei returned, his wife told him the terrible news. Furious and desperate to recover the magic barks, Rongmei decided he would build a ladder to the sky. He called upon all the animals for help, but there was one group he purposely left out: the weevils. The weevils, feeling dishonored by being left out, decided to teach Rongmei a lesson. As he began building the ladder to the heavens, Rongmei asked his dog Langbung, "You climb first, while I prepare myself for the battle against the sun and the moon gods." Little did he know that the weevils have secretly damaged the legs of the ladder, weakening it. The dog, eager and strong, climbed all the way up to the heavens without any trouble. But when it was Rongmei's turn and he began to climb the ladder, it started to shake and wobble, and before he could reach the top, the ladder broke, and Rongmei fell back to the earth. Because of his failure to bring back his magic potion, he could no longer revive the dead. His magical powers was lost forever. However, Langbung the dog never forgot the injustice done to his master. Furious and determined to seek revenge, he relentlessly chased after the sun and the moon gods. People believed that during an eclipse, Langbung had finally caught and swallowed them. Whenever there was an eclipse, the Kabui people would shout, "Shi Langbung, Tao Tao," while the Meitei people would cry, "Taro Taro," which meant drop, drop, and put it down, put it down. It was as if they were urging Langbung to release the sun and the moon from his grasp, a reminder of the eternal chase and the lingering grudge. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to discover more enchanting tales and rich traditions from the comfort of your home.